Hey, honey.
Hi.
Good timing. Look what's here.
It smells amazing.
Okay, say hi to everyone.
Hello.
How's the little fella?
He's sleeping
He's
still.
sleeping. Beautiful.
That's our morning every day. We
Yes.
eat this amazing bread that
Yeah.
had kept us really strong for in the pregnancy,
Oh, yeah.
in breastfeeding, so I really recommend it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hard to go past this bread, and you cannot eat a regular one.
Oh, yeah. No, it's very difficult, especially when you go and eat out. You go and have a brunch or something, it's like, oh my God, I'm so empty
It's
now.
true.
So, yeah, we tend to have every breakfast at home. Yes, that's a great way to start the day. All right, baby, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, check this out. All right. Oh, yes. Look at that. Whoa. Look at that, guys. Beautiful, huh? Would you like a taste?
Of course. And the funny thing is that even though the ingredients are kind of the same, every day it tastes different.
How's that?
It's delicious.
Hi, and welcome. Welcome to Dissolve Kitchen. My name's Andy Mack, and I'm going to be walking through a little meditation slash bread making session with you today. And this is what I do every day. At about 7, I start the process. The little guy, my son, goes to bed, and then I've got about an hour to get breakfast ready. And so this is what I do in the mornings. I want to allow myself to come in. Okay, so before I start the process, I just soften my eyes. And I start to feel my breathing. And I just notice what that's doing. And I allow it to soften. And I start to see immediately there's a correlation between this softening of the eyes and the effect that it has on my breath. Okay, and so we're using the eyes, we're using the breath. We're allowing them to help us to see this correlation between contraction and release, and the clarity and the calm that comes with that. This peace that comes with it, okay? And so I'm just feeling the skin, softening the eyes, and just going through this process. So I feel the sesame seeds and I soften into them. I soften the way I touch the container. And I'm softening the eyes. I'm softening the way I look at this, the way I interact with this. So this is the dissolve process, right? We start from the very beginning. Okay. So just pouring that in. When I'm crushing the sesame seeds in here, there's going to be some oil residue, of course. And I don't want to lose it in my container here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some brown flour in there with the hope, and it's a very small amount, with the hope that it's going to soak up the oil, okay? And then from there, I take my, is this the mortar or the pestle? Anyway, the basher here. I'm just taking that. So I'm not thinking about anything. I'm bringing my awareness in here, in here. And again, it's this whole process of my interaction. How am I holding this? Now, of course, with the mortar and pestle, you have to have some strength, right? But as I'm holding this, I'm noticing if I've got tension in the mind, in the awareness, and I'm softening that. we're letting go of extraneous contraction. That's the whole aim here. So sometimes we have to be strong. Okay? Many times we have to be strong, actually. And so as I'm doing this, I'm softening my interaction with this process. Okay, that's starting to look good. Softening my eyes. As I'm doing this, I'm also just taking note of my posture as well. So I don't want to be like this necessarily, but as I'm doing this, I'm just straightening my body, opening my body as well, and just suspending my head. Allowing things to find a more comfortable position. Again, this is secondary. I'm not really getting caught up in the body, but I'm just noticing. I'm noticing this opening, noticing this openness. As I'm softening, I perceive the contraction coming up in my awareness, and I release that. And as I release it, I get a sense of betterment. There's an enjoyment that comes along with that. And I just allow myself to enjoy it. So I find that after a little while, I'm just smiling to myself in the kitchen here. Now, I'm not just smiling for no reason. I'm smiling because it feels good. Okay, so I'm softening into what I'm doing here. I'm feeling the mortar and pestle. I'm feeling the sesame seeds. I'm feeling my interaction with them, and I'm softening the way I perceive all of that. So what is that going to do to your food, do you think? Pretty beneficial, huh? All right, so that's looking good. You might think, oh, this isn't really a meditation, Andy, but it is. It is. We're using this food, we're using the utensils as our tools for meditation. When we meditate, we use the breath, or we use a mantra, or whatever it may be, to calm the mind, to use as an anchor. And so what we're doing here, instead of just using the breath, we're using everything at our disposal, every interaction that we're having with our senses. And in this case, it's a mixing bowl. And I'm softening my interaction with this and finding that release, finding that calm in here. Okay, so now we're just going to add the flours in. We've got some buckwheat. Nice. Some chickpea. Again, the amounts with the flours, it's a pretty even mix. It's about 3/4 of a cup, roughly, okay? But again, it's just going to depend on your own diet, your own intake requirements, okay? Now look at that, that looks fantastic. That's just one night, huh? Isn't that great? So there's just some apple cider vinegar in there, and you can just see the consistency of that brown flour. And now, as I'm doing this, of course, it's still a meditation, right? I'm softening. I'm softening. I allow my awareness to feel my interaction with the glass, with the flour, Give that a bit of a stir. Again, how am I stirring? Okay, let's add some sunflower. Again, how am I doing it? Soften my hand with the glass. Softening the way I perceive the seeds. If any thoughts come up, I go back to the object of meditation. I soften my interaction with what I'm doing here. Okay, got some pepitas here. Now, make sure that when you, so I soaked these last night and then I'll just wash them out earlier, okay? So I just rinse them off. Okay, we've got some rosemary here, fantastic. I love this stuff. And we've got it growing in abundance in our place here. So I just throw a bunch of that in. As I smell it, I feel what that does to my awareness, and it's a brightening. Boom. The awareness expands as I smell this. And so we can use these ingredients to help us, because that expanded awareness, it's not that we're trying to expand the awareness. The awareness is actually expanded. But what happens is we think a lot. We get caught on mental objects and the awareness comes in. It's like holding this, right? And of course, as you hold this like so, the more you hold it, of course, it feels like this is everything to you, right? This is your whole world. The more you hold that, the tighter it becomes and you really focus on it, your periphery tends to draw in, and so this becomes your focal point. And then of course, as you release that object, as you release the object, your periphery, your awareness comes out again, okay? And so this is our natural state. Natural state is open and released. But because we're holding on to a lot of stuff, everything closes up, right? And this is how we perceive things. This is how we perceive our life. Not the greatest, right? Okay, so that's looking fantastic. Again, just taking a moment. Got the smells coming up. As I smell, I feel the awareness open up. That rosemary is so strong, it's fantastic. Okay, taking our first date, I'm going to remove the seed. And all I do with these guys is just flatten them out, like so. Like this. There's a second one here. They're so nice and juicy. If you can get a nice juicy date, try and do that. And it's going to make your bread so much better. Again, as I'm touching, I'm noticing the way I interact with it, and I allow myself to soften into it. As I soften into it, my intention is release, okay? And so I'm releasing into the ingredient that goes into the bread, which I'm going to ingest and my family is going to ingest in a very short while. Okay, so super beneficial. Find my knife. As I pick up the knife, same thing. I hold it and I soften my grip with it. And what I'm going to do is, as I press down, I'm just softening my interaction with this process. The more I soften, it's very interesting, the more I soften, the more I can feel the knife. It's strange, but I can. It's almost like if I soften down in through the knife, I can feel the point of contact with the date. You can see I'm just cutting big chunks. Big chunks. What I find is with the bread, if your ingredients are too fine, the taste spreads too much. What I love in my bread are these big bombs, these big flavor bombs. So that's what I'm looking for in my bread. And of course, we're just going to throw that in. Beautiful. And so you just get these explosions of flavor. Still going through the process, guys. As I'm doing this, I'm softening the way I throw them in, right? Let's give that a bit of a stir. All right. Okay, that's looking good. We're going to throw a couple of bananas. They're quite small bananas, these ones. So we're going to throw a couple of those in. Again, how am I interacting with this little banana? Now you don't need to use a knife for this, but for the purposes of the video, we're using a knife today, just because it's a cooking show. Okay, but certainly I will just rip this apart generally. What I really want to demonstrate to you is this cutting within the meditation. So I'm softening, I feel the banana, I feel the knife, and I just soften. Boom. Again, it's as though I can feel the interaction with the banana through the knife. As I'm cutting, I'm softening. Taking the bananas and just throw those in. Again, how am I doing this? Okay, we just need a little bit of salt now, and then we are good to go. So, again, just feel that out. I like salt. I eat a lot of it. So, yeah, just administer to your own salt requirements. Mine are fairly high though, because we're quite active. We do sweat a lot, and salt's good for you. Okay, giving it a good stir, and you can see how thick that is, right? It's fantastic. Look at the color. So giving it a good stir. You can see the consistency. It's really quite wet. I don't know if you can hear that little noise in the background there, but that's a woodpecker. We've got a woodpecker that comes every morning and shows off to his girlfriend. His girlfriend is sitting there watching him peck at the window. It's very cute, super cute. Okay, so that looks pretty good to me. I'm just going to put a drop of vinegar in there. I find that it really makes the bread have a nice quality, a nice crispiness to it. So just some apple cider vinegar there. And then give that a bit more of a stir. Okay, I am going to add some more water in there. Let's try that. Much better. I'm just going to add some olive oil in here as well. I give a fairly good sploosh of olive oil. I need a lot of olive oil. And again, as I'm stirring this, I'm softening. So every part of it is a meditation of softening the eyes, softening the way I interact. Check this out. I could be stirring like this, and I could be thinking of 1,000 things. Tension is in my body, tension is in my mind. And it's uncomfortable. It has the potential to be uncomfortable. Again, when you're holding on to things like this, with a really an overly firm grip, you're holding on too tight, this extraneous contraction, it becomes uncomfortable after a while. Like if I held this for 1 minute, really hard, squeezing, it's very uncomfortable. If I held it for 5 minutes, it's even more so. For an hour, even more so. And so this is what we do from moment to moment, day in, day out. We are holding on with this extraneous tension in the mind, in the body, the emotions, all that stuff, our whole being. And so we can use these little moments like this to just see the causation. Okay, what's going on here? Oh, okay, if I soften what I'm doing, that contraction in my whole being dissipates. And then as I find that dissipation, I allow myself to enjoy it. Allow myself to enjoy it. Our little woodpecker is still up there, cheeky little guy. Okay, that looks good to me. Taking our mixing bowl, and we're just going to pour this into a silicone tray now. I like to use these silicone trays, they're great because it's just a really easy removal. So again, I'm softening this into play. Okay, beautiful. All right, so that's that. Now, I use an air fryer. I love them. They're fantastic. So easy. I think the best invention ever. So I'll just take a silicone baking tray into the air fryer. Okay, so it's been about 5, 6, 7 minutes. Again, I change it up every day. There's no set amounts of ingredients that I use. I vary it all the time. Same with the times for the cooking, okay? So, what we're going to do is we're just going to add a little water to the mixing bowl here. And I find that we're going to take it out in just a moment. And I'm just going to add a little bit of water, this mix here, to the crust. And it just makes it nice and crispy. It just adds this beautiful element to it. Again, as I'm doing this motion, I'm softening in. I'm seeing the water, feeling the bowl, softening my interaction with it. And it's very interesting, as I do this, I begin to feel my whole body more clearly. I can feel all the way down to my feet as I'm stirring this. Such a simple little exercise. Again, this is the meditation. Meditation is my interaction. So if I'm holding any tension in my awareness, I'm softening. And then as I soften, I just notice the effect that it has on my whole being. I'm going to check the bread now. That looks pretty good. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a bit of this liquid on top there, like so. Spread that around a bit. Beautiful. Again, the interaction. Now I'm just going to press it in like this. And I find that this variance in the structure of the bread makes for some really tasty treats. Yeah, you can see I've made some big valleys in there. Big dips. There we go. Really mixing that up. Mixing the crust that just formed down into the bread. Again, it just gives it this beautiful variance. As I'm doing this, I'm softening. As I'm doing this, I'm releasing the contraction in my awareness. And of course, this is going into the bread. Right, this is what I'm going to feed my family. Beautiful. So I'm not thinking of any ridiculous thoughts. I'm not thinking of anything, actually. I'm just softening my interaction. So you can imagine you're making breakfast or lunch or whatever, and you're thinking of the news, or you're thinking of just random things, that energy is essentially going into your food, and then you're going to ingest that. So it's a really nice way. This dissolve method is a fantastic way to clean up your diet. All right, you might have all the best ingredients, but as you're preparing your food, you're thinking about shit, thinking about rubbish. And that energy is then going into your food. And so then instead of thinking to ourselves, well, I'm just not going to think, and then we have this tension in our awareness to try and keep the thoughts at bay. And then that tension then goes into the food as well. So instead, we're going through this process of release through the whole procedure. Every component, every part of breakfast is met with this releasing. And of course, some days you release better than others, but I guarantee you that if you can find just 1% of release, if you can find that and you pay attention to it and you feel the betterment, and what I mean by that is there's this tightness in the awareness, and then you release a little bit and this happens, right? If you pay attention to that, you will find some joy there. And then just allow yourself to stay with that joy. And this is where it's at, okay? So this is what we're training to do. And it's a training. We have to do this every day, right? The cool thing is the training makes us feel better instantly. So you can try it, for instance, by squeezing your fist like this. Making a fist and then squeezing the hell out of it, right? And of course, that becomes uncomfortable very quickly. Now, if I ask you just to soften the way you approach this, feel that little bit of betterment, right? I'm not saying to release the fist entirely, but if you can release it this much, though, so if you watch, we'll zoom in on my fist here. Right, went from this, fully contracted, to this. Barely any movement to the outside eye, but internally it felt very dramatic, a huge difference. And now that's quite comfortable. I could stay there for an extended period like that. I don't need to open up my hand fully. Okay, so just try that. Squeeze, release. And notice the correlation it has in your awareness as well. You actually have to release your awareness to do that. Okay, and so this is the process. It's this scientific approach to your own peace, to your betterment. You don't have to believe anything. You just do it a bunch of times. We do it one time initially and notice the difference. And then you just keep on doing it because it works. It feels better. So this is where we're at with Dissolve. Now, I highly encourage you to check out our other videos. Go to the website, check out the courses we've got there. We've got the Dissolve Therapy, we've got the Dissolve Yoga, Dissolve Meditation is coming up, and we've got a few other little treats as well that are on their way, but I can't tell you right yet. Don't want to let the cat out of the bag. So we're just going to leave that bread doing its thing for maybe 10 minutes. I want it quite crispy. I love a crispy bread. So the butter, I'm going to put lots and lots of butter on it, and it's going to soak in and be beautiful. Okay, so we'll leave it there for a moment. We'll come back and check it out. In the meantime, do some Dissolve Yoga. Open up, release. Okay, so I'm just going to take out the bread. And I'm just going to flip it over. So just be careful. So just flip that. There we go. Okay, so you can see there, that looks fantastic. From the underside. And I'm just going to throw that back in the oven just for a couple of minutes, just to put a little bit of a crisp on the underside of that bread. Now the heat is full, so it's 200 degrees. And we'll just leave that in there for a little bit longer, just to get that crispiness across the whole loaf of the bread, because the silicone tends to, of course, keep the moisture in. We want that moisture, but we're just going to balance it out just a little bit by flipping it. So in the meantime, I'm just softening my eyes. As I soften my eyes, it's not a dullness, so I don't go and disappear. I soften and I feel my awareness opening up. Feeling my feet suspending the head. And there's a balancing that comes into my being. And so this whole process is just drawing my attention, to my awareness. How is my attention? Is there tension in my attention? What's it doing? And then as soon as I start to release, I find that openness, which is my own nature. I don't have to try and make it open, but I release the extraneous contraction, and there it is. I notice my own nature, and it's really nice. It feels great. So I'm going to pull that out now. As I said, we just hit it a little bit. That looks fantastic. Beautiful. Oh, that looks really good. Okay. And there we have it. Dissolve bread. Variation 1224. As I said to you, every day it's different. I use basically the same ingredients. I might throw some oats in there sometime. I might throw some sourdough, some white flour sourdough. But really just the same ingredients, and it's different every day. It's amazing. So as I'm putting the butter on, I'm softening. As I soften, I'm also looking at the butter softening and melting into the bread. And I bring that softness into my actions. I'm softening the way that I'm interacting with the bread, the way that I'm holding the knife. And again, this whole procedure has been a continuous exploration from start to finish. The whole creation has been from release. And then of course we eat that and we take that into ourselves. So fantastic. Aha, here's Kat. Hey honey.
Hi.
Good timing. Look what's here.
It smells amazing.
Okay, say hi to everyone.
Hello.
How's the little fella?
He's sleeping still.
He's sleeping. Beautiful.
That's our morning every day. We eat this amazing bread that had kept us really strong in the pregnancy,
Oh yeah.
in breastfeeding, so I really recommend it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hard to go past this bread, and you cannot eat a regular one.
Oh yeah. No, it's very difficult, especially when you go and eat out. You go and have a brunch or something, it's like, oh my God, I'm so empty now.
True.
So yeah, we tend to have every breakfast at home. Yes, that's a great way to start the day. All right, baby, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, check this out. All right. Oh, yes. Look at that. Whoa. Uh-huh. Look at that, guys. Beautiful, huh? Would you like a taste?
Of course. And the funny thing is that even though the ingredients are kind of the same, every day it tastes different.
How's that?
It's delicious.
Yes.
Top 1,000 breads.
Let me have a go. Oh yeah. And so as I said, just play with it. There's no set times. There's no set ingredients. Just have a play. You might want more banana in there, more dates. Throw some dried fruit in there, whatever. Make it really, really dry, really crispy, or you can have it nice and wet. It's entirely up to you. And so instead of having a boring, mundane breakfast, you've got this little piece of creativity.
And power.
And power. Oh my God. Yes. Yeah. All right, guys. So, yeah, we'll see you. I think it's Kat's turn next. Yeah, you're in the kitchen, right, honey bunny? In fact, it's her kitchen. And she was like, all right, newbie. Get in there. Go and warm it up for me. So she's the chef, for sure.
We're both chefs.
Oh, no way. Come on. I'm the sous Jeff.
I'll do something.
Yeah, I can't wait. All right. Thanks, guys. Enjoy.
Bye.
Bye.
It's so delicious, actually. It's one of the best.
Oh, my God.